The evacuation sirens wailed across Station Gamma 7 as the massive crimson shape descended through the atmospheric shield. Isabel pressed her face against the observation window, watching scales the size of transport shuttles glint in the binary sunset. Isabel Chen, get away from there. Commander Vexenar's mandibles clicked frantically as he ushered the last of the station's inhabitants toward the escape pods. The Krytok officer's 6 legs carried him with impressive speed despite his obvious terror. It's beautiful, Isabel whispered, her 12-year-old eyes wide with wonder, rather than fear. The Dragon 4, that's what the galactic community had named these ancient creatures, settled onto the landing platform with surprising grace for something the size of a frigate. Its wings folded against its body like collapsing solar arrays, and twin plumes of superheated gas vented from its nostrils. Eric Rodriguez, the station's young maintenance apprentice, skidded to a halt beside Isabel. At 16, he'd seen plenty of strange things working on an outer rim station, but nothing like this. We need to go now. Look at it, Eric. It's not attacking. It's just sitting there. She was right. The dragon's massive head swiveled slowly, surveying the platform with eyes that glowed like molten gold. Every other species in the galaxy fled at the mere sensor reading of a dragon's approach. The Krytok had lost entire colonies. The telepathic Sorianel went catatonic in their presence. Even the warrior race of Thunder, who feared nothing, refused to engage them. Humans, fresh to the galactic stage, had only heard the stories. The archives say they're planet killers, Eric said, though his voice carried more curiosity than conviction. They've destroyed 17 worlds. The archives also said they attacked without warning. But look, it's been sitting there for 3 minutes. The station's still here. Commander Vexenar's voice crackled over the intercom. All remaining personnel. Final evacuation in 60 seconds. Isabel made her decision. Before Eric could stop her, she slapped the door release and stepped out onto the platform. Isabel, no. Eric lunged after her, but stopped at the threshold, torn between following and seeking help. The dragon's head snapped toward Isabel with frightening speed. This close, she could see that each scale was actually a complex pattern of metallic compounds, shifting and iridescent. The heat radiating from its body made the air shimmer, but it wasn't unbearable, more like standing near a bonfire. Isabel walked forward slowly, her hands visible and empty. Her heart hammered in her chest, but something deeper than logic drove her onward, a certainty that felt almost instinctual. The dragon lowered its enormous head, bringing one eye level with the small human girl. The eye was larger than Isabel's entire body, a swirling galaxy of gold and copper. She could see her own reflection in it, tiny and fragile. Then, incredibly, Isabel reached out and placed her small hand on the dragon's snout. The scales were warm, almost hot, but not burning. They thrummed with an internal energy that Isabel could feel resonating through her arm. The dragon's eye widened, its pupil dilating. Eric watched from the doorway, frozen in disbelief. The creature could incinerate Isabel with a breath. Instead, it leaned into her touch. A low rumble emanated from the dragon's chest, not a growl, but something closer to a purr. The sound vibrated through the entire platform. "Hey there, big guy," Isabel said softly. "You're not so scary, are you? Just misunderstood." The dragon's other eyes swiveled to focus on her, and in that moment, Isabel felt something pass between them, not words, but understanding. Images flickered through her mind. Civilizations fleeing in panic before weapons even materialized. Ships firing first and fleeing faster. The loneliness of being feared across the stars. "They never tried to talk to you, did they?" Isabel said, realization dawning. "They just ran, or attacked." Eric found his courage and stepped onto the platform. "Isabel, what's happening?" I think they're not predators at all. They're explorers. Scientists. Maybe." She looked into the massive eye. "Right?" The dragon's rumble intensified, and it carefully extended one enormous claw, with precision that seemed impossible for something so large. It touched Isabel's shoulder with a single talon, gentle, almost reverent. Commander Vexenar burst onto the platform with a plasma rifle, several officers behind him. "Step away from the human child." "No," Isabel shouted. "Don't shoot. It's friendly." "Friendly? It's a dragon. They've destroyed worlds that fired on them first," Eric interrupted, piecing it together. "Haven't they? Every recorded incident, there was always an attack before the destruction." The commander's mandibles worked silently. After a long moment, he lowered his weapon. The dragon watched the exchange with intelligent eyes. Then it did something unprecedented. It opened its mouth, revealing teeth like starship holes, and from its throat came not fire, but light. Holographic images materialized in the air, mathematical equations, star charts, chemical formulas, an offering of knowledge. Isabel laughed, tears streaming down her face. They're teachers. They've been trying to share knowledge this whole time. Eric approached slowly, extending his own hand. The dragon regarded him for a moment, then lowered its head again. His palm met warm scales, and he grinned. Humans, he said, looking at the assembled aliens, we're pretty good at making friends with things that bite. Over the following weeks, Station Gamma 7 became the hub of an unprecedented cultural exchange. The dragon, whom Isabel named Orcs, shared technologies and sciences beyond galactic understanding. In return, it received something it had sought for centuries: acceptance. When asked why humans succeeded where all other species failed, Isabel simply shrugged. Back on Earth, we learned a long time ago that the scariest-looking creatures often just need someone brave enough to offer a hand. Sometimes the monsters are only scary because everyone's too afraid to say hello. Aureus rumbled in what might have been agreement, and Isabel smiled, scratching behind one of the dragon's massive orbital ridges. After all, humans had befriended wolves once. Why not dragons?